everybody, and thanks for coming back. I've got a wonderful idea today. If you are a beginning preacher or beginning elder or just a member of a congregation that has never been involved in a visitation program, or you don't currently have a functioning visitation program, you need one. And this video will help you to get started on that. Visitation is one of the most absolutely vital things that can happen within a congregation. It is a ministry that is wonderful fun, and it has huge dividends within the congregation. Now, as we start talking about developing a visitation program, there are really two aspects of it that I want to talk about. One aspect of it is what it is. In fact, what are we actually doing? Well, the reason the ministry is so important is because visitation is where ministry actually takes place. You're going into someone's home, you're visiting with that person, you get to hear the genuine needs and concerns that are going on in that person's life, and you get to see where and how that person lives. That's why this is such a vital ministry within the local congregation. So the first thing we want to do is we want to talk about how it gets done. How do we, in fact, do this? It is such a vital part of congregational ministry that Ira North, the late minister for the Madison Church in Tennessee, in his book Balance, he plainly said, you cannot overdo visitation. It has to be done, and it is a wonderful ministry. Now, the first part of actually getting it done has to do with you just understanding what the program really is all about. So we're going to talk about how to go about visitation. We're going to talk about how to start a program of visitation within the local church. And we're going to wind up with a few comments about administering a program of visitation. But first of all, we really need to determine what it is that we're trying to do. What is visitation about? Well, the first thing you have to do is you need to select a partner. Now, it's great if the preacher and an elder can go together, or a pair of elders can go together, but if the preacher is otherwise engaged, or if he just can't do it, or there is no elder present, you can go with your spouse, you can go with another member. I caution you against taking too much time with your spouse, because that may not be your spouse's gift mix, and time pressures are very, very real. We want to be wise about the way we conduct our time. So if you're the preacher, you should not probably try to engage your wife in this and ask her to go with you in your visitation. You probably should see if you could get an elder to go with you, but you need a partner. You always need to go in pairs. Before you go anywhere, you need to stop and pray together. The two of you, whoever you and your partner are, be sure you pray about this. As you determine where you're going to visit, you must understand you have to make an appointment. Call the person on the phone that you're going to visit. You want to go visit people who are members of your congregation. You want to visit people who have visited your congregation. You want to visit members or family members of those who are in your congregation. In short, you want to visit people who are already connected with your congregation in some way. You do not want to make cold calls. This is not the time for door knocking and meeting strangers. This is the time where you go and actually express some interest in someone who already has a dynamic interest in your congregation. Don't take any gifts with you. You might take a church bulletin, but don't take any donuts or pastries or goodies of any kind. Don't take a house plant or anything like that. Just go. You're going to get acquainted, and you're going to spend a short time doing that. It's very important that you stay no more than 30 minutes in this visit. You're not trying to move in with these people, and you don't need to be a pest. You just need to be there for about 30 minutes to get better acquainted with them. I'll have a list of icebreaker questions in the description of this video that may help you get started with getting acquainted with people if you don't know them well. This is where you will discover the most amazing things about people. I have met fantastically artistic people, great painters. I've met people who are master woodworkers. I have met Boogie woogie piano players, musicians. I've met quilters who perform the most amazing feats of sewing in producing these quilts. People are fascinating. Everybody has an interesting story to tell if you will take the time to listen. So when you ask the question, wait. Listen for their story. Ask them their faith story, how they became a member of the church, or if they're not yet a member, what is their religious background? Before you stop with that, ask if they have any prayer concerns or any prayer requests, or if they have any personal concerns. And this is also an opportunity for them to ask questions about the leadership of the church. If they have questions about budgetary matters, or if they have questions about what the Bible says about this topic or that topic. This is a good opportunity to set up a future study with them if that's what they want and need. At any rate, when the visit is concluded, make sure you spend some time praying with them. Pray for their real concerns at that time, and then leave. It's time to go away. So that's essentially the whole purpose of visitation, is to encourage these people. When you get there, you're going to have a partner with you. You're going to pray about the situation. You're going to make a call so that you have an appointment to see these people, and they're expecting you. You will show up. You will just get acquainted with them, ask some questions, ask about their prayer concerns, listen to what they have to say, look around and see how they live. You may see that there are real needs to be fulfilled, and we'll talk about that in just a moment also. But when it's all concluded, be sure that you pray with them, having determined any prayer requests and concerns that they may have. And then go. It's time to go away. There will be another visit another time. So that's what visitation is. Now the next question is, how do you develop a program where you can get other people involved in this? It's wonderful fun. They'll have a great time doing it. But there are some guidelines that will help you to develop this program, and it's very important that you do this. First of all, you need to pray about this program before you ever get started with it. Pray about it, and then in your mind, identify some people within the congregation who are likely to be workers in this. And after you've identified these workers, go sit down with them and actually talk to them. It is absolutely critical, and okay, I can't say this strongly enough, I think. Don't put out a sign-up sheet. Invariably, someone will say, oh, let's have a visitation program. That's fine. Put up a sign-up sheet on the bulletin board, or put one on the table out in the foyer and tell people there'll be an announcement. We're going to have a visitation program. There's the sign-up sheet out front. And it is guaranteed failure. Guaranteed. No one will sign up for it because they don't know what you're asking. They don't know how long it's going to last. They don't know who all is involved. You haven't told them anything. No one's going to sign a blank check, and you wouldn't either. So this is why you go to the individual. Forget the sign-up sheet idea. Go to the individual personally. Sit down for a visit. If you're having a visit, sit down for a visit and just ask the individual directly and tell them, here's what we're asking for. We want you to go one evening a month. That, not a week, a month. One evening a month to make a visit to someone who is already interested in the congregation. We're not making cold calls and trying to develop interest. These are people who already have interest in the congregation. So you're going to make an appointment to go see these people. Your visit's going to last about 30 minutes. That's all. You're going to visit with people who are connected already. You're not being asked to do any kind of cold calls, no kind of persuasion of any kind. You're going to go simply to encourage that person, to pray with that person, and to find out what real needs there are for ministry within that person's life, if there are any at that time. That's what the visitation program is about. You also are going to ask this person for a commitment to do this for 1 full year. One evening a month for 12 months. There's a beginning and an end. And when people can see that there's a real plan, there's a real beginning and a real end and a real program involved, they're far more likely to be involved with it. You're not asking them to sign a blank check. You're telling them exactly what's going to be required of them, and you're asking them for a commitment of 1 year. At the end of the year, they don't have to do it again. I suspect they will want to do it again. It is amazing good fun when you get acquainted with some of these people. Once you have spoken to this person, you've visited with your prospective helper, ask that person to think about it, talk to others if they need to, certainly pray about it for 1 week, and at the end of the week, you come back and ask them for a yes or no. Don't get a yes or no from them right in that moment. Ask them to think about it and pray about it. You'll get back with them in 1 week, get a yes or a no answer from them, and then move on. It's time to get it going. Now, if they say yes, and I suspect they will, if they say yes, then you help them get started. You may go on that first visit with them, or you may assign someone who's a really easy visit that you've already visited once. You will help that person get started with the visitation. Okay, that's really, really important. So, putting the program in motion really is not a difficult and challenging thing, but it is important to visit with each of your prospective helpers personally, one-on-one. Don't put up a sign-up sheet. You will be disappointed. Now, let me just finish this up by talking a little bit about administering the program of visitation. Ideally, you'd be able to construct 4 teams so that each week of the month, someone is going out visiting. That way you know you can cover your visitors who have showed up for services. You know you can deal with time-sensitive problems like people who are in grief. You'll have opportunities to visit each week. Someone can be contacted each week. And once that visit has been accomplished, someone needs to report back to the coordinator of the program so that visits aren't just thoughtlessly repeated. You don't want to visit the same people week after week, this team, then this team, then this team, all go to the same house. That's not going to be very helpful. So you want some kind of report that will keep things organized so that there's not needless repetition. In addition, I would say that as the visitation program begins, first you should focus on widows, widowers, those who are in grief, those who are ill, those who are homebound. These are people who already feel somewhat isolated. They may be depressed and discouraged. They may be wide open for a wonderful message of encouragement, and you'll have a great opportunity to visit with some of the greatest people you can ever hope to meet. Anytime a need is uncovered within one of those visits, someone needs to take that back into the congregation to see if someone can help with that need. A home repair, an auto repair, child care, transportation to a medical appointment, something like that. Those kinds of needs must be communicated back into the congregation so that those needs can be met by the brethren. It's really a wonderful opportunity for ministry to take off within the congregation. At the end of the year, and this is absolutely vital, at the end of the year, the coordinator, and I presume it's going to be you, the coordinator must have some kind of special recognition for those who have poured themselves out in ministry in this visitation program for the year. Maybe you want to have a special dinner for them. Maybe you want to have some kind of public recognition ceremony. Maybe certificates are printed up. Maybe a gift is given to each one of them. It doesn't matter, but they must be reminded how vital they are to the ministry of the church and what a great blessing they have been in all of that. So there you go. You have the opportunity to do ministry, and it's something that you simply can't fail at and you can't overdo. You absolutely love getting to meet the finest people in the world, committed disciples of Jesus Christ. It's a wonderful ministry to undertake. So, you know what it is, you know how to recruit somebody to help you with this, and you know how to administer the basics of the program. There's not a lot of administration that needs to be done. Just a few things need to be captured. The last thing that I would say is whatever you do, don't quit. This will This will reap huge benefits within the congregation, and you yourself will have a wonderful time as you get acquainted with these people, and they will surprise you with who they are and what they can do and what their stories are in the background. You may find some very, very competitive canasta players. You may find boogie-woogie pianists. Well, you may find all kinds of things lurking within your congregation because people are fascinating. And what you are doing in visitation really seriously matters. All ministry matters. Visitation ministry matters for sure. Thank you for being here. I hope you have a wonderful time with this, and may God bless you in your visitation ministry. We'll have more to say on another time. And as always, folks, like, subscribe, and share if someone can use this video, because ministry matters. God bless you.